go to school, work hard, get a degree, you'll get a job, you'll end up rich, save for your 401k, don't worry about your pension, you're gonna own your home one day, vote for your candidate, it really matters, and you're gonna be a happy citizen. And it turns out every single part of that is a lie. They want you to pay taxes, you need to work, and they want to keep your mind distracted and placated enough for you to continue to pay taxes, even though your cost of living keeps going up, your living standard keeps going down, crime keeps going up, you're miserable, the traffic and the commute is getting worse day by day, your life is degrading in real time, your only chance to get out of it is to get rich. You can't, and you're stuck. So they have to broadcast enough garbage into your brain that you get distracted by TikTok and being stupid enough to pay $700 to go watch Taylor Swift. So look at these people screaming, jumping up and down, looking at an artist they've already heard the song from 50,000 times, idolizing this person like they're Jesus. And they can't even pay their own bills. Those are the people who have been completely psyoped by the slave mind. You're allowing yourself to be distracted with bread and circus garbage as your actual life and the things that matter crumble around you. I think that every single person watching this has exactly what they deserve. I think everything good in your life, you deserve it. Everything bad in your life, you deserve it. If you're important and famous, you deserve that. If you don't deserve it. You have exactly what you deserve. Where you are and who you are is what you should be. And if you wanted to be something else, you would be something else. So if someone's overweight, they chose to be overweight. If someone's broke, they chose to be broke. I believe everything in the world is a choice. People will argue with me when I say that. They say, no, I didn't choose to feel this way. And I'll argue back that believing everything is a choice empowers you to make the change. Trying to say that everything is not a choice removes your power and your authority and your responsibility and your capability. So I think the most powerful thing you can do if you're a depressed or sad person is accept that you have chosen to be and you can choose to stop being one. When you're hungry, it's your body telling you need to eat some food. When you're depressed, your body's telling you need to change your life. Everything in life that is valuable must be earned. Peace of mind must be earned. Happiness must be earned. When I look at the lives of people who tell me they're depressed, I look at them and think, you know what? If I was you, I'd be fucking depressed. Because your life is shit. But whose fault is that? And what they'll do is they'll try and outsource it. Well, I had a bad start, or this happened to me, that happened to me. Suck it up, buttercup. Shit happens to everybody. If you're the kind of person who deserves a good life and works their ass off and genuinely wants it and tries very hard, guess what you get 99% of the time? A good life. If you're the kind of person who doesn't really deserve it, a little bit lazy, he snakes his friends, talks behind people's back, guess what? Your life ain't all that good. The thing that makes a good man a man is that he does what he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to work and he works anyway. He doesn't want to get up, he gets up anyway. That's the whole point of it. We didn't want to die in the Titanic. Guess what happened? We died in the Titanic. So when a man sits there and says, oh, but you don't understand, I'm struggling with motivation. If you are struggling with the motivation to be a winner, then stay a fucking loser. Don't care. Do you ever wake up and think, I don't need any more money, but there's fuck all else to do? So I wake up and go, let me do the math. If I never work again, I could spend $422,000 a day. Let me try and chill out. And within 22 minutes, I'm back on my laptop. There's nothing else to do. I can't stop myself working as a person who doesn't need money. And then there's people with no money who don't work, which is why the winners are winners and the losers are losers. Losers do a little bit of work and rest. Winners work as hard as possible and worry they're not working hard enough. And it's almost like you can't save these people. I don't have motivation. You're a loser. You're not going to always feel like doing it. You have to do it anyway because it's your duty to do it because you don't want to be a fucking loser. What do you mean you need motivation? You don't need motivation. You have a duty to not be a loser anymore because the hole in the sky is closing. I would guarantee if you find a person who lacks energy and motivation, he's trying to get girls all day, he's messaging girls on Instagram all day who ignore him. I guarantee he gets road rage when somebody cuts him up. You get angry and you have energy and you have motivation when somebody pulls in front of you in traffic or when you see some on Instagram, but you don't have motivation to do anything else. You don't lack energy and motivation. It's pointing in the wrong direction. We all have an innate energy inside of us. We all have a life force. And most people are just directing it in the wrong direction completely. And that's why we're getting decimated in real time. The Matrix has come along and it's distracted us all with bread and circuses. I refuse to sign up to things that don't directly benefit my life or benefit the future for my children. I don't think if a sports team wins, it's going to benefit the future for my children. And I don't think if I jump up and down like a ketamine-taking peasant in a concert is going to benefit my children. The last thing you should lack in the mess of the world today is motivation. And I'm telling you as a rich man who made it out, I can see the gap is closing. So you should certainly see it. I'm above in the clouds, looking down on the hole closing in. You're down below, looking up, watching it close, and you lack motivation to build a ladder. Maybe government will save me. Maybe if I vote for the liberals, they'll give me money. The last thing you should lack in the world today is motivation, because truly people are running out of it. So when people look at my life and they're envious of me, what they should say is, he's truly from the most humble possible socioeconomic beginning. He is a person of color from a council estate, a single mother household. And he made it up to the highest echelons. He's on the phone with Elon Musk, his ability. He can do it, I can do it. But they don't believe in themselves. So what they do instead is, well, I want to level the playing field, so I got to drag him down. It's just laziness. Because you feel envious, but you don't have enough fire about yourself to go out there and attack the world and equal the playing field with vigor. So you want to equal the playing field by dragging someone else down. It's just laziness. Lazy people. If you know good men, all they want to do is, most of the time, is work. What men who are good want to do most of the time is some version of work. Training, making money, organizing their life, getting their car clean, whatever. It's a degree of work. Women love fun. Women want fun all the time. Drugs and rape charges and physical violence and assassination. There's always linked to fun.
Yeah.
If you want fun, you're dragging all this shit into your life.
Wasting money.
You can avoid a lot of bad things. Someone goes, you want to go out? I'm like, no. I'm going to sit here on my computer. I'm boring. But I guess it generates millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. The basic premise is that life, irregardless of your standing, irregardless of where you are, should only ever be a constant and endless pursuit for ascension. You should be insatiable. You shouldn't be the kind of person who can be satisfied. You know, the Matrix tries very hard to convince men you should be happy with what you've got. No, that's for chicks. Chicks are grateful. Women have a coffee and they sit outside and they look at the sunshine and they're grateful. Good, because you don't want an overly ambitious woman because she ends up on her back with a man richer than you. That's the female mind. The masculine mind is constant insatiability. No matter how many lands Napoleon conquered, he had to keep going to war. Even though he suffered, he could have just been the emperor. Could have sat around, ate grapes, and had an empire. No, he wanted more and more and more to the point it destroyed him. When should he have stopped? Well, if he was the kind of person who knew how to stop, he would never have had an empire in the first place. So nobody who ever gets to the top knows how to stop. Despite all of the cars, the jets, the whatever, I've never felt rich. I don't feel rich. I feel like, okay, I can afford my bills now. And I thank God I have the times I was poor so I can juxtapose my current life with my old life. If I wasn't capable of sitting with Tristan and talking about how broke I used to be, I really wouldn't feel rich. At least now I could sit around and talk about the time where we couldn't buy hot sauce because it was money for no calories and flavor and taste wasn't on the menu of things we needed. We needed calories for our pound coin. So thank God I have those times. But I don't wake up and feel rich. Girls say to me, you can buy anything you want, you're rich. I'm like, I'm not rich. I need more. I want more. All of these things are a constant and never-ending progression anyway. Your money is something you work on every day. Your network is something you work on every day. Your reputation is something you work on every day. None of these things just exist. These things must be maintained. You don't start a company and then stop working. No, you start a company and work on that company to keep your money coming in.
You talk to people and they're content. They're like, oh, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm like, why? Because there's people who have a whole bunch more than you. And I was never content having a normal life. I wanted an exceptional life. I didn't want a normal car, a normal house, a normal girlfriend. I didn't want none of that. I was like, no. There's dudes out here that have the best. Why do they deserve the best and I don't deserve the best? I really believe that. And this is something I've always had inside me. I just didn't understand why I couldn't have the best stuff.
I lived my life when I was poor, furious at the fact I was poor. Because my ego, and I'll be honest, my ego is at a point where I didn't understand how other people can afford Ferraris and I can't. I couldn't stand the fact that there are people who could do things I couldn't. So this gave me unlimited motivation to get rich. Now I found a way to get rich, and I believe that anyone who really, really, truly wants to get rich will get rich, one way or another.
You're avoiding pain. I've been through endless. I now have everything I've ever desired. You have none of the things. Am I supposed to look at you and go, oh, poor dude? No, you were a fucking coward. You didn't go through the shit I went through. You didn't put it on the line. So you deserve your substandard reality. That's what you deserve. You're a fucking loser. Because if you actually wanted it and you actually tried, you'd have it. You could have anything you want. Universe is super giving. You want a Ferrari, you can have it. You want that bitch, you can have her. You can have anything you want on the planet. There's not a girl I look at that I want that I can't have. That's my reality. There's not a car I can't have. There's not a house I can't buy. If I want to go to a yacht, if I want to go to Antarctica, there's nothing I can't have. Bam. Because I've decided to become this man. It's the same for absolutely every single one of you at home. If you want it, you can have it.
Young people, a lot of men say to me, especially like, what's fun? And I'm saying doing what you're supposed to do and fulfilling your duty and being proud of yourself is fun. That's the only fun you need. You don't need the fun of trying to chase all this garbage and this hedonism and this black hole. That doesn't lead anywhere. It only ends badly. And I think that's also one of the problems with Western society, where the youth are obsessed with fun. I'm bored. I want fun. They're also selfish. They're also self-obsessed obsessed with how they feel. This teaching a whole society and teaching a large contingent of the youth that how they feel plays paramount over the world. If you feel sad, that's all that matters. Not, well, I feel sad, but it doesn't matter because I'm doing the right thing. No. What matters is how you feel right now. And when you have a whole contingent of the youth obsessed with only being happy, I think this is one of the largest reasons they can psyop them so easily into doing insanity. But I think we're designed to struggle a bit. Because the closer you are to struggle, the more sensible you are. Also, if you meet somebody who's had a hard life, they seem to be pretty wise. When you speak to these liberals or these morons, they've had very easy, soft lives. So I think humans are supposed to struggle a bit. What is life without difficulty in the first place? Another thing I want to say about the universe and how it works. God only gives you what you're ready for. And on the rare occasions he gives you something you're not ready for, you're going to regret it. You know, I wasn't even rich till I was 27. And I think back and I thank God I wasn't rich when I was. Because if I got rich before 27, I wouldn't be strong like I am now. And that's worth more than being rich. And I wouldn't have the lessons that I say to you on all these emergency meetings. And that's worth more than being rich. I like all the lessons I had when I was poor because I have the poor man's lessons and the rich man's money. So if God's decided you need some more of the poor man's lessons, then that is a blessing. The universe is telling you there are lessons you need to learn. It's never smiles and rainbows. You have to wake up, do the right thing even though you don't feel like doing it, dedicate yourself, grind out brutal, terrible, hard labor. And if you do it the way you're supposed to do it, the lessons you will learn along the way makes money worth having. If you were honest, do you want a 1% chance of making it today? Or do you want a 100% chance you're going to pull it off in 3 years? The intelligent people would say, well, 3 years of working, learning lessons along the way, plus a guaranteed success. I'll take the 3 years. But most of you, if offered that chance, you would take the instant gamble bet because you are so monumentally lazy that you would rather roll that dice, lose, and sit at home with no prospects, no hope, than dedicate yourself to something for a living.